Hey everybody, Casey Transformed here again, and today I have the Transformers Generations Legends class Skrapnel, or Shrapnel if you prefer. Now let's go ahead and get a good look at him. As you can see, he's a very nice little update to his G1 counterpart. Unfortunately, I don't have the G1 counterpart, but I have seen it. My uncle had it. It looks a lot like this. And in fact, I think this actually looks quite a bit better. Well, that's what we expected. It's, updated version. You can see on the other side, you can just see his arms, basically, and you can basically make out what's going to be his butt. But, I mean, for a little bug transformer, we've had a lot worse. This is actually really nice. You can also see I've already done some panel lining on him with the Gundam pin. All along his horns here, a little bit on the legs, a few lines going through the yellow paint here to make the details stick out more. And a little bit along the side of the chest where the yellow paint kind of overdid itself, so it kind of just like made it more even. And there's a lot more robot mode that you'll see. But overall, the black, the purple, the yellow, the gray, all of it works together really well. It looks really nice all together. There's just enough of each one to kind of keep it from looking monotone and to break up each one really well. If you're wondering about size comparison, here he is next to the Legends Bumblebee. And you can see he is bigger, but typically that happens with the bug and animal transformers. They usually look, even at the same size class, they usually look bigger than the cars because, well, they stand up while a car's just flat on the ground. But you can see, yep, close to the same size. Here he is next to Dragstrip from the Combiner Wars. Yep, definitely smaller than Dragstrip. And here he is next to the Generations Thundercracker. Different generations. That's so weird to have two different toy lines with like the same name. But there he is. Now he does have an accessory. He has this little guy. Oh dang it, his name actually escapes me. You all know who this is. This is the camera. Reflector, there we go, I'm sorry. I am terrible with my G1 names lately. Let's zoom out a bit. So let's see. You can see he's the usual minifigure. He's really small. Let me bring Bumblebee back in again. Really small. I should have grabbed Payload if I was smart, but oh well. You can see he's even smaller than Bumblebee's gun. Not even an extended, it's still smaller. And you look on the bottom and it's the robot mode. Yeah, Payload might have been lazy but only have like one little piece move around, but Reflector literally just stands up. That's it. That's his whole transformation. He does have one other transformation though. You fold down the handle, you flip this piece out, and when you do, the spring will activate, which will flip this out. And this is what's really cool. Now, a lot of people hate this guy because of how it looks, and yeah, it looks really chunky and broken. But look, if you were to take the outline and just look at it like this, let's see if I can get that going right. Kind of like that, just look at it like that. It's actually Shrapnel's G1 gun. A lot of people say it looks like Soundwave's gun, which it kind of does. But if you actually see the G1 toys, Shrapnel's toys gun, it actually looks a lot like this. Or at least the outline like this does. So that's actually really cool that he actually has something that resembles his G1 gun. And it just pastes into the top right there. And you can give him a blaster. Or you can fold it back into a camera and pretend it's his eyeball. He sees everything. Or you can pretend that the screws are his eyeballs. That's actually kind of what works. That's one funny thing, is that these actually kind of look like his eyeballs. He's just staring at you. Is he? Nope, there goes his eye. Or his other eyes. His movable eyes, there you go. So yeah, you can just kind of keep it on there if you want, and I kind of like to pretend he's actually, that's like some kind of minion bot that's crawling around the ceilings, looking around, making sure nobody's causing trouble. Or you can flip it back out in the gun mode, and you could also, since he is Skrapnel and he has those horns, you could flip the arms forward on Reflector, and it kind of looks like a gun that Skrapnel would use. Kind of like a bolt blaster or something. You might shoot lightning. So, well, since we're having robot mode, let's take a look at Reflector. You can see I also did a bit of panel lining on the shoulders, around his head, around the camera lens, and make the details stick out a bit more. And there he goes. Articulation just has up and down shoulders. Yeah, he doesn't look as good as Payload, but I'll give him credit. They actually painted his eye or his visor where his eyes are. And they did give him some paint on the chest, and they did paint his legs. His legs are actually painted. They're actually molded in gray plastic, so not much, but not bad for a little minifigure. And of course, he has the black on top there. So yeah, it's actually not bad for a minifigure. I actually like him quite a bit, just because it's a G1 character I remember. I'm sorry, I don't remember Payload, but I do remember Reflector. So, onto Skrapnel. What you're going to do is, he's pegged in right there. Just going to bring that out. And when you do, you're going to actually fold the crotch up like this. If you didn't see that, it's kind of like that. There. Split the legs, and you don't just simply fold the feet up. You actually move these to the side, which actually make his legs less chunky, and move that detail to the side and give him more detail underneath, and then you fold his feet up. You unpeg the arms. When you do, you can go ahead and fold back the bug legs. You kind of have to, because otherwise the chest can't come down. When you fold these forward, you'll see these pieces right here move forward with it to kind of fill in that little gap there. Then you just bring his arms out and straighten them out. Go ahead and split the horns if you want. And this whole piece comes down on this double hinge. You can see there's this head right there. If you want to see from the inside. And it just kind of collapses in on itself. He kind of accordions into his robot mode, but not like how the movie formers did. It actually kind of works really well. And it really helps with his proportions, because look at his robot mode. It looks like Skrapnel. Let me just get some comparisons. Okay, for some random size comparisons, here he is next to the 3 3/4 inch Rocket Raccoon from the Marvel series. Let's get that back a bit so you can see. And since Raccoon has his own minifigure, here he is next to Groot as well. You can see both are much smaller. Well, Reflector's a little bit smaller than Rocket Raccoon, but he towers over Groot. So let's get those two out of the way. Here they are next to the Legends Bumblebee. Bumblebee will stand. Oh, his feet aren't flat. That's why. There. Here's next to Bumblebee. Let's see. For our Generations figure from the past, here he is next to Thundercracker. And for our Generations figure from the future, here's Dragstrip. And he really does kind of carry on that aesthetic that the Classic series kind of started. The previous Generations and Classic series really started it. He really does carry that over and actually make it a little bit better, because for one thing, he doesn't look as chunky. Like, he's not really chunky, but, you know, Thundercracker has like really square limbs, really square legs, and all that. He's a lot more round. It might just because he's an insect, but he kind of has more of a robotic humanoid proportions. You know, he's not all block and stuff. Dragstrip kind of continues that too, and there goes Bumblebee. And just for one more size comparison, here he is next to the Voyager Roadbuster. Just to get an idea of like Deluxe and Voyager size comparison. And for a little Reflector down here, for some really weird comparisons, here he is next to Minosaur's hand. Just Minosaur's hand, not the full Minosaur. And here he is next to Bumblebee's gun. Yeah, let's go and flip him in the gun mode. And flip you in the gun mode. Well, you can see, extended, he's about the same size as Bumblebee's gun. And now it's much smaller. And next to Dragstrip's Minosaur gun. Yeah, at the handle, it's longer. Comparing it side by side, it's actually about the same size. So let's get all of them out of the way. You too, Thundercracker. And you can wield Reflector. He only has one handle, but you can't, with how long it is, you can have his other hand kind of under it and make it look like he's, you know, maybe like a shotgun kind of thing, just, you know. Well, let's get a good look at the detail. You can see panel lined, you can see a lot more detail on his arms and hands. You can even see all the sculpting on his little fingers, which is really cool. The chest is just the top of the bug mode. The leg has sculpting as if this kind of part kind of just shrunk down, collapsed on itself. So that's really cool. The only thing I have against it is there's kind of like a piece just from where the hinge was for this. which kind of stinks. I wish that filled in a bit better, but oh well. The crotch actually has some really nice detail on it, which is weird, but it's got nice detail. The horns kind of become like his shoulder blades. His legs, yeah, his legs are just kind of coming off, but it kind of works. Where else are you going to put them on a Legends figure? They don't really get in the way of anything. Most of his poses work fine, even with them there. And that head sculpt, that is just an awesome little head sculpt. Kind of a generic robot look, but Skrapnel kind of always had that look. And it looks really good with this figure. Articulation-wise, if you can get your fingers in there, he does have a head swivel. He has a ball joint at the shoulders, ball joint at the elbows, nothing at the waist, unfortunately. Ball joint at the hip, ball joint at the knee, and that's it. So that's what, 9 points for articulation? That's not bad. I mean, considering this is basically a scout class figure, this is actually pretty good. I mean, because he has the ball joints there, he does have quite a range of movement. The only thing that kind of sucks is his balance can be a bit weird with all the legs and the horns just sticking off, but it'll work just fine. Oh, if you want him a bit taller, you can extend it, his crotch kind of, but that looks ridiculous. And let's get Reflector back to robot mode. We'll just have him stand next to him. So yeah, these are two really cool little figures. For $10, this is probably my favorite Legends so far. As much as I like Cosmos, I just have a bit more affection for Skrapnel, or Shrapnel, mostly because I think he's a more remembered G1 character. I do remember Cosmos for the cartoon, but the Insecticons are just iconic for the Decepticon army. They're one of those figures that you kind of need in any part of your G1 Classic collection. So yeah, definitely go pick him up. He's really nice. He's got a really cool transformation. The colors are really nice. He's got really good articulation. Well, not really good, but acceptable articulation. I'm not mad, and I'm not impressed, and I'm not angry about the articulation either. It's just enough to make me happy. There, that's how I'm going to state it. So yeah, he's a really nice little figure. Get him. He's only $10. You won't get a comic with him, unfortunately, unlike the deluxes, but hey, who needs comics? Anyway, I'm Casey Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you get this wonderful little figure. And I'm out of here.